Welcome to the Creation Grounds podcast, where we break down the success, habits, and the life of people in creative fields and discover how they've gotten to where they are, what they aspire to be, and how you can live your dreams too. Let's get to the show. I'm excited to welcome our next guest. He's hilarious. He's a UConn alum. He's a Morehouse man, and he's on this podcast. His name is Philip A.J. Smithey.
Hello.
So, yo.
What is up?
Tell us the story of how you knew you'd become an actor.
Oh, well, that's not a really good story. Like, I was literally sitting in the back of my mom's van at age 5, and I made 2 promises to myself. My first promise was that I would never toilet paper someone's house.
Okay.
And my second promise was that I would become an actor when I grew up.
Okay. That's so weird. Where did that connection come from?
Well, the toilet papering was because I saw it through the neighborhood during Halloween, and I thought that was mean.
Right, okay. Fair enough.
And the acting, I just think I was always a performer. Like, I was always trying to entertain people. And so I knew very early on that I liked, being in front of people and acting crazy. So I just thought, like, oh, that's what I'll do. I don't know why I felt like I...
Are you the youngest? Do you have siblings?
But,
Are you the youngest child? Do you have siblings?
No, there's 4 of us. I'm the second.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And where are you from originally? You're from...
Originally from Dallas, Texas. Yeah, born in
Dallas. Okay, so
North
Dallas. And you traveled from Dallas to go to Morehouse. So how'd you get to Morehouse and eventually UConn?
Generational. See, my father went to Morehouse, and he graduated, I think, from the class of 76. So, my father always spoke very highly of his experience at Morehouse and how it really helped shape him into a man. And I was very much wanting to be an actor already, but there was also a part of me that really wanted to mature into myself and to know myself better. And that's something that Morehouse absolutely gave me. I was more submersed in culture and adulthood in those 4 years than I had ever been, before. And it was great. It was a great experience. And then, of course, Atlanta is a city of art. So my art grew there as well. And that's why I decided that I would like to continue my education, because I learned enough to know that there was a lot that I didn't know. And so That's why I decided, why don't I further my education as an actor so I can be the strongest professional possible.
Yeah.
And that's how I found UConn, yeah.
Cool. And it's a great program, a lot of great professors there.
Absolutely.
And that's where I met you. When were you introduced to martial arts?
Martial art, well, that's another passion. I think martial arts and acting really came at the same time. Also 5 years old.
Yeah?
Yeah. I used to run around watching the show called Karate Cat. And I would go, Karate Cat, hi-ya! And all my favorite movies were all action movies and Jackie Chan movies.
Jackie Chan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dope.
Drunken Master 2. What is it? Super Cop. That was
Super
Jackie
Cop
Chan movie right there. Yes.
That's dope too. So you got love for Jet Li too?
Oh yeah, Jet Li's the man. I love Jet Li. What was it? When he did Lethal Weapon 4, that was amazing. He also did what's it called? He also The One.
Yeah. I will be the one.
I am Eula. I am nobody's bitch. You are mine. I will be the one.
It's the best line of that movie, man.
Yes.
So you're based in LA now. You come from Dallas, made your way to Atlanta, to Connecticut, and now you're in LA. For anybody that wants to move to LA because they want to act, what are 3 tips that you know now that you wish you knew coming in that will benefit any newcomers coming in?
The first one is the most important, and I will say establish your community. I'll say that right away. Like, LA is a hard place to live, just like any major city, especially, but LA can feel like a very lonely place, and you can feel like you can because there's so much here, you can kind of get caught up in anything if you don't have like your sense of community, your friends, maybe your acting class, your workshop space that you go to. Find that first, because that's what's going to keep you going more than anything else. And that's what's going to keep you like invested and hungry, and working. Those are going to be the people that you hopefully work with like 10 years in the future, 20 years in the future, when you've established yourself, are going to be those people. It's going to be the same people, the people that you started with. And some of them will leave, but some of them are going to stay long haul, and you guys will be making art together. Second thing, if you have a car, like, deal with the car issues right away. That means like register it to Los Angeles, make sure you have that LA driver's license. Make sure that you are paying attention to every street sign. The car, it's such a big expense. A car is like the biggest financial issue that anyone has to deal with. And my saying is, if you haven't been towed yet, then you haven't lived in LA long enough. Because everyone goes through. I've had my car towed away just after a party. I just got out of the hot tub and I'm feeling all good and I'm all relaxed. And then I'm like, all right, here. No, I parked here. No, I did. Did I park here? I parked here, right? No. I probably just left it on the other street. Bing, 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 bing. No, nothing. Gone. That's what happened.
Oh, man.
That's what happened. So that's the second thing. Deal with the logistics immediately. Don't try to put it off or wait or something to think, oh, I'll wait till I get some money. No, make sure you come in with the money to deal with the car shit right away, because they will get you on that. Yeah. Parking tickets add up. Then they tow it and all that stuff. It's just not worth it. It's enough to send you home, almost, dealing with that.
Yeah.
And the third thing I will say is find balance. I think you have to be equally, I think you have to put in as much time as you are into working towards something as you are like on yourself. You can't spend 24/7 just trying to be an actor. You have to spend some of that time just going to the beach, just, going to the movies, just enjoying life. It's the only way you're going to make it, because you will burn out.
Right.
Because not everything is going to hit right away.
It's true.
And it's different for everybody, but sometimes it's a long, long journey to getting to where you want to be.
For sure. Those are great tips. You mentioned finding your community as your first one. Is there like a practical resource? Is there like a meetup group or something that people can go to, a website? How'd you find your community? Did you just was it just from being in the mix, or did you go on meetup.com or?
When I got my very first job out here, I was a host at a restaurant that closed down, and one of the other hosts was this guy who told me he was trying to start the sketch comedy group. And I was like hungry. I wanted to do everything, so I just said yeah, sure, I'd love to join. And those people, they were all from Colorado for whatever reason, even though they didn't all know each other initially, but they all ended up somehow being from Colorado. And they just met up and they became my friends, and they became my family, and they became my work group, and they became my therapists, and they became my, they became my roof when I needed one. They became everything to me, and it was such a huge leg up to get to have that. And I can't imagine what it would have been like if I felt like I was just out here kind of alone, maybe working the day job, then coming home and not really having anyone that I can share my dreams with or what I want to do with. But the thing is, there's so many groups in Los Angeles that are geared towards every single want or need or hobby or anything. There's groups that meet to play softball or dodgeball or, trampoline, football, anything. There's groups that meet up for any activity you want. And you can literally just type online, recreational, sweater knitting group, and they're there. The LA has, they have everything. So, and you'll look up the sweater knitters, and you'll just go meet with them, and they'll become your people. If you guys click like that, there's plenty of ways, but you have to be active, and you have to say hey, you have to be open to meet some new folks, and there's lots of new folks out here to meet. But that's also why you want to make sure that your community is people that are uplifting you and inspiring you to do what you came here to do. You know, that
For
solidarity is very helpful.
Yeah, building your tribe. So within the community of comedy, I know there's a lot of community there. So how important is laughter and humor to you, and why?
Laughter is essential. I don't think anyone can live without laughter. I think everyone has to laugh because, like I said, life has to be in balance, and there's still plenty of, I mean, regardless if someone tells a joke or not, you know, something sad is still going to happen, right? Like, you're going to go through life, and life is going to hit you hard at times, and you have to laugh so you can create balance. It can't be all negative. It can't be all hard. Sometimes you have to have great moments of softness and joy, and people need laughter. And if you don't have it, you won't be able to keep doing this, because it'll be too frustrating. It'll be too difficult.
Yeah. So what do you find funny personally?
I find anything ridiculous funny. I think I love dry humor. I love slapstick humor. I love absurd humor. I love subtle humor. I love truth. I think, because I think all those types of humor still come from very honest places, depending on who you are. I know a guy who's extremely hyper, extremely energetic, and he is hilarious to me because it's honest, and he can't help it. And I know people that are very deadpan, that barely raise their voice a decibel when they're speaking, and they're equally hilarious just because it's just them. So I think everyone finds the same stuff funny. But that thing that they're seeing is something that's honest about a person or a situation, even if the situation itself is not being truthful. There's some sort of truth in it. If that didn't make any sense.
That's a fortune cookie right there, man.
This plastic, I said. Yeah.
So you're great with dramatic material too, and this kind of goes into what you were saying earlier with everything's a balance. So sometimes you have happy moments, sometimes you have sad moments. Within dramatic material, how are comedy and drama similar and different to you at all?
Let's see. Well, all stories basically started from the same perspective. I think theater started with the purpose of teaching religion or teaching something. So, because all forms, they're all to show, to teach, or to entertain, right? If we take the purpose of all theater: show, teach, entertain. And so I think they all do the same thing in teaching you something. They teach you how to deal with situations. They teach you about people, teach you about what people are really like, or what certain people do in situations, and then you reflect that on yourself with what you would do in any situation. I think comedy is much more difficult because, to me, drama is more how we in general react to things. That's what makes some drama hard to watch, is because it's so honest. Something happens and you react to it in the way that's so instinctive. And I think comedy comes from a different instinct. It comes from a more rebellious instinct to do the different thing. Someone tells you bad news, and when you smile instead of frown, that's comedy, because it's you fighting. The impulse would be to frown, but comedy says, I'm going to smile instead. And there's something jarring about that we really connect with,
I dig that, man. I've never heard it been put that way, so that's real. I appreciate that. Yeah. Tell us how humor has helped you personally in a difficult situation.
I mean, humor always helps me in difficult situations. We get disappointed all the time. A friend of mine just did not get a interview that they had been going for a job. And, that's really hard because they're not an actor. And so they don't audition every day. And so they said to me that, like, I can't do what you do every day feeling like I'm going for something and getting rejected because after I want it so badly. And everyone deals with that and sometimes in some way or another. And, like, you know, we react by just making fun of it. Instead of feeling how hard it is, we just pretend like we make fun of the situation. We make light of it in spite of itself, and we use it. You know, I'll say this is a true story. My father actually passed away when I was in high school, and I remember thinking to myself, like, you know, how horrible the day was and how sad I felt. And I remember at the memorial when there was a guy singing, you know, in memory of my father. He had this beautiful voice, but he had this crazy mullet. And I'm sitting in the front row, and he's singing with this mullet, and he looks at me and he's like, "Come on to me."
Oh,
and
my God.
I was like, "Don't look at me, don't look at me." I wanted to burst out laughing. And that's at, you know, my father's memorial. Like, the most inappropriate time to be laughing. Or is it? Or is it the perfect time to be laughing, to be using, like, humor to, like, find joy in life? I mean, it's always going to be there.
Did you end up laughing? Or
I held it in out of respect for him. But
okay.
I looked over at my siblings, and we were all, like, about to die. We're like, dude, homie with the mullet needs to calm down. Like, he is looking so hard at us right now.
That's hilarious.
I still remember him, like, but he made my day. He made my day. Would not like to think that there is someone who could make me laugh on that day. Didn't know that was possible. Didn't know it was even possible for that to happen.
And who's the last comedian that made you laugh, either in the theater or on film, TV? Who do you really like?
I'm a huge fan of Bill Burr. You know, I like John Mulaney a lot too. Who else did I watch? I think I watched the last stand-up special I watched was Baby Cobra, Ali Wong. That was hilarious. I don't know. Like, I mean, everyone loves Louis C.K. too. I'm more general with my comedians. I wish I should follow some kind of up-and-comers a little closer. But I don't, like, even when I do stand up, I don't remember everyone's name. People are like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Hey." Like, and I have to fix that because I'm sure some of these people are going to be, like, blowing up soon, and I'm going to be like, "Oh, yeah, I know you."
What's your name again?
Yeah, what's your name again? Yeah, I'll be wishing I knew some of these people.
And how did you personally get introduced to stand-up? Do you still do it?
I still do stand-up from time to time. For me, stand-up was a challenge that I made myself. Like, I feel like I'm a storyteller, and I feel like I'm an actor, and I want to do other things that can be that can challenge myself, I wanted to challenge myself. And stand-up was one of those great challenges. It's like, you know, you're up there, you're alone, there's no script, there's no nothing to lean on, there's no costumes, it's just you talking and entertaining an audience, which is how I started. That's like when I was 5, that's what I was doing. I was running around talking to, you know, my mom's friends and my family and trying to make them laugh. And so it felt like it was necessary to do in order to feel like I was, you know, that performer that I was trying to be. It's a great teacher. It's a great teaching tool. You learn a lot about yourself when you do stand-up because stand-up material has to come from such an honest place.
Right.
Even if the stories you're telling aren't true, which I think is a cleaner way of what I was trying to say before. Even if what you're saying isn't true, it has to come from an honest place. And stand-up really teaches you to do that. And that's why it's so valuable. You know, I think improv is kind of valuable in that way too, because it teaches you to be open and to listen. And a lot of people aren't used to doing that necessarily because so many of us are in our own heads about what's happening with us that we actually forget as we get older how to, like, really listen and respond to people.
That's real.
Improv can do that. improv can help you do that, and you'll find a lot of joy in that too. So stand up, and I think everyone. I don't think it should just be actors that do stand up. I think everyone, like, who is like, hey,
I don't know, man. Everyone doing stand up, I don't know, man.
I mean, maybe not professionally,
you know
maybe
what I mean?
not like, maybe not every night at the club, maybe not like for money. Yeah. Some people don't need to do it for money,
right?
But I think everyone should do it. I think everyone should do stand up or improv at least once in their life, and I think everyone should wait tables, just to like. I think those two things, like just to understand. Like, just to understand people or understand yourself a little better,
Yeah, it gives you a thick skin waiting tables for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely did that for a while. So, man, you're doing a lot right now. You booked a bunch. Tell us about your latest bookings and what you got going on right now.
The show Switched at Birth is re-premiering season 5 in late January, early February, and I'll be playing the character of Keyshawn, who's a college student, goes to the same school as Daphne, and I'm excited to, Keyshawn has a message and he's got a perspective, and he's gonna be sharing that perspective with Bee's family and with these people, and so it's really powerful. Like, there's some really powerful moments and really powerful stories that I think are very relevant to what's always happening in our society, and it's just a great story to be, and it's a necessary story to be told.
When does that air? Do you know? Do you have information on that yet?
I think it's going to be on, I don't know, like whatever February 7th, 14th, 21st, whatever days of the week those days are. That's the days. Mm-hmm. Those are the days that the show comes on. So cool. February 7th, I believe, is my very first appearance. Yeah.
Cool. Any stand-up, any other projects, or just that one?
You can catch me on open mics. I wish I had more information. I do have a couple other projects coming out. You will be able to catch me on The Great Indoors, starring Joel McHale and Christopher Mintz-Plasse. And it's a great show. It's very funny. It's a great multicam comedy, and everybody should check it out. Definitely check it out. I'll be on it hopefully end of February, early March.
Cool. Anything else you want to kind of plug? Any shout outs, or is that all you got going on?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give a shout out to Secondhand Smog, my group, my sketch comedy group. You can watch their videos online at YouTube, Secondhand Smog. I also want to give a special congratulations to one of the leaders of Secondhand Smog, Brian Rodriguez, who has just gotten engaged, as well as one of the original members of Secondhand Smog, Grayson Lewis, who has also just gotten engaged. That I love them, and I'm very proud of both of them.
Colorado is getting it in with the marriage, man.
Getting it in.
They're getting it in. Where can we contact you? Social media, websites, Twitter, Instagram?
Hit me on the gram. I think Phil Lotus, Phil_Otis. That's Phil of the United States. That's my Instagram. You can probably find me. Facebook, Philip AJ Smithey. Not really messing with Twitter, but if I am on Twitter, it's probably Smitty SN10. That's SMITTY SN10. And I think that's it. My social security number is no. It's fine.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Well, bro, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I actually learned a lot from this, and it's I hope a lot of other people do as well. That's it for this episode of The Creation Grounds. I'm your host, Aaron Lloyd. Be sure to check out our Instagram for future and previous guest info, and check out our YouTube channel in the show notes below. Email us with any suggestions at thecreationgrounds@gmail.com. And if you got something out of this, I'd really appreciate if you spread the word and the love. Until next time, this is Aaron Lloyd telling you that the sky is the limit. Stay creative.